today?
Pretty good. It's still pretty early, so a lot can go wrong.
Well, I will tell you, when I heard the interview time was going to be 8:30 in the morning, I said, no, that's just not, that can't be real. And then, but they were like, no, it's really 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. Is someone flying out today?
I am. You are?
No, I'm tomorrow.
Good boy. Don't
No, I'm staying.
Yeah, I got a newborn at home, so I got 7 hours sleep last night, which was like pornography. I mean, that was ridiculous. Yeah.
Jumping into why I get to talk to the both of you today. First of all, congratulations on the movie. You're both of you what I call talented actors. And it's really like this movie is a showcase for what you guys can do. Talk a little bit about most of the people watching this, and I hate asking the generic question, but most of the people watching won't be that familiar with the movie because it's just premiering here.
Sure.
Could you sort of talk a little bit about who you play and what the film is about?
I play a guy called Gerry, who's a good poker player, but he's a bad gambler. One day he has the very, very good fortune to be sitting at a poker table when this man comes along, name of Curtis, and they sort of bump into each other afterwards. And Gerry's sort of finagles, the idea that maybe they should head down the Mississippi, gambling, hitting all these spots, all these different games.
Like Huck Finn.
Yeah.
But not in a raft.
Not in a raft, on the road. So that's what we do. We go down the Mississippi, gambling our way to Nirvana in Utopia.
One of the things about a project like this, it feels like the script you signed on for is the script you made. It feels, and that's really great because I think you've both worked on projects where there's pink and purple pages. And
Salmon rod.
Exactly.
Pages that are salmon rod.
Right.
Golden rod, salmon rod. Yeah.
Exactly. Talk a little bit about from how you, when they first got the script, is it what people are seeing on screen? Did a lot change along the way?
I don't feel like.
No, it was a pretty tight script when Ryan and Anna delivered it. I think things changed along the way because, this movie, was shot on a budget that, most movies spend on bottled water. So, we were having to kind of improvise in moments and shoot things that, we weren't expecting. And I loved that. I loved that there was never really a moment to stop. We were, if we were traveling one day from Mississippi to Alabama to shoot, we were shooting on the way in the car.
On the freeway.
Yeah, just going, so it was a great way to shoot. It was something unlike any other production I've ever been a part of, and it keeps you honest to some degree.
Well, I'm imagining both of you did research into your character before you started shooting. Was there anything that you learned that you wanted to make sure got incorporated into your character and into the script that maybe wasn't there when you first got it?
I'm not sure about wasn't there when we first got it. I just think there's that sort of period you go through where you want to, you want to make sure you've got some knowledge of the territory that you're playing in. Mainly for me, it was poker stuff. Just how do you bet? How do you, how do people that actually know what they're doing do it, as opposed to a sort of a schleb like me that might play a couple of home games or whatnot. So a bit of that stuff. But that's about it.
Yeah, Curtis is kind of an unusual bird in the sense that he's not as fascinated by the game as much as he is the people. And I kind of saw it in the writing is what it reminded me of, but I sort of felt like he was one of those guys that teaches what he needs to learn. And he's doing that with Gerry a lot. He's on the road, he's teaching something that he needs to learn.
Yeah.
He hasn't learned yet. And I think that is sort of beautifully weaved through the narrative.
Oh, I like that because and this is the first time I'd ever heard this too. And but that's the thing about this. There's still a bunch of stuff that we did in that film that still is kind of like pops out for me and there's still new stuff coming up from it. I wish we could go back. I want to do it all again. I would love to do it all again too.
You guys, I saw you off camera just this morning, and it seems like you guys are legitimately good friends right now. Did you guys become BFFs on set? Is it something that one of these processes that you took away and now you still text messaging?
We've both been doing this for 4,000 years, I think. I mean, I'm in my 25th year of doing this professionally. You start to be able to differentiate between the kind of, you get good enough to just sort of phone that thing in, but once in a while, get something that's a little bit like a bottled lightning, and that feels really good. And that's not something you manufacture. That's something that is either there or it's not. And with Benny, I just fell in love with him. I mean, my wife calls him my other wife. I mean, no offense, you could be my husband. But I remember we had 3 days left to go in shooting, and I just got really bitchy and like moany and whingy, and it was just like when you're leaving home for a while on a trip or something like that, 2 or 3 days before, you get really bitchy and moany because you're actually already actively missing the person that you're with, and that's kind of what was happening with me. You should put some sincere musical swells behind everything I just said.
I definitely will. 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got along real well, real quick, and we get along real well. We get along real well, and yeah, and I really missed it. Really missed him. Really missed the being around there when we left. It was hard finishing. But anyway, enough of that fucking shit. Come on now.
You can swear, it's fine.
I just
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter.
No.
I'm always curious when I talk to actors, and especially about their process. And for some people, they don't really care. But I'm fascinated by how it's possibly changed from when you first got involved to now in terms of your preparation. Is it something that because you've done this for a while, you know exactly what you're looking for before you take on a role, and you can sort of minimize the preparation, or is it the same process for every role for both of you?
Prep can sometimes force you to stop listening, and that's the other thing that I've learned. That's the one thing I've learned, particularly in the last couple of years, that you can prep, but then when you show up on set, sometimes you're doing the thing that you've decided everyone else is going to do already, and that's not acting. That's something else. That's television. That's something else. So for me, it's the prep is I learn everything I need to know about the character, but the dialogue and the shit on the page that's got to come when we're there. I don't even think about that stuff. So.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think that's a really, really good point. I also think we've gotten attached to this notion of, the sort of bow down preparation stuff. Look, there was a really heroic period in acting around the sort of late 70s, early 80s when you got your Raging Bulls and sort of stuff like this. And that looms large and that's huge. It's not applicable for every, it's not applicable for every approach. There are things you do, but the most important thing is what happens between the time someone goes action and till it stops. The rest of it's all, it's whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you get to where you're going, you walk, you jog, you catch a little plane, it's...
Yeah, because if I've prepared every line and every thought meticulously, I have no idea what he's going to do when we're at an off-track betting site in Alabama. I don't know, is he going to be pissed off? Is he going to be paced? Is he going to walk away in the middle of the scene? I don't know. So it's fun to discover those things on the day and see what happens.
What is the most you have both, either of you have lost at gambling? Is this something that you guys have lost so much that you're like, F this, I'm done? Because that happened to me.
I don't want to answer that, do you?
Yeah. I lost a fair bit doing this film. I had a couple of bad days.
I had a couple of days where I was texting people going, where is Ben? I know we're not supposed to be working right now, but someone get eyes on him.
So this is
somewhere.
This is like real life imitating what was really going on.
Yeah, not so much. We had a guy that was like our poker guru, Anthony, and we'd go out and we'd play sometimes. And Anthony's the real deal. He's a proper baller. He's out there. He's grinding away. He's playing serious stakes. I sat down at that table a couple of times just like an idiot. Yeah. Like an idiot. Yeah. With people that know what they're doing. Now, one time, the first time I sat down, I got lucky. I copped a flush. Some guy was hot-headed and goes, yeah, man, I'll go all in on you. Oh, okay. And I went all in and I toasted him, and I grabbed a couple of G off him. I should have left it alone.
Grabbed a couple of G off of him. That never happens to me. I just show up at the table and I just throw my wallet at the biggest guy. Fuck that. I lost $600 playing Baccarat with Paul Anka in 2003.
Boom. There you go.
Right?
See? What better gambling
Best
story
$600
can
I
you
ever
get?
spent. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I definitely, before I run out of time with you, as we all know, you are getting ready to film something that I'm so happy got the green light and is getting made. legitimately.
Yeah.
What can you tease people about it? And I think a lot of people are curious how much you can push forward. Is it PG-13? Is it going to be R?
Yeah.
I think that's a big question that everyone wants to know.
And I can't answer a lot of the big questions, unfortunately, right now. I'm not allowed to, but I'm wearing this is actually the costume that we've come up with. The budget is very small.
Somehow I think you're going to have a little more than that, but just...
Do not die right now.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's we got a bunch of great people that are behind it. I'll say that, and the goal for everybody is to make it the right way, and for us to make it the right way means that we don't get to make it on a lot of money, but we get to make it.
Sure. And I think... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that there was a script that leaked a while ago. Is it the same script you guys are making, or have you guys been tweaking it? Because everyone seemed very happy with that script. You know, the people who had read it. And in case you don't know,
I'm down with it.
Okay,
I know
okay.
what we're talking about.
Is it? Can you tease if it's the same or nothing? Is it all complete embargo on you?
No, there's not a complete embargo, but I just feel like the less we say at this point, the better.
Bushka.
The whole thing,
Bushka.
I will just say then, first, I'll just say on camera, I'm so happy it's being made.
Me too.
Legitimately, that test footage looked fantastic.
Thank you.
Let's get into two things we can talk about.
Yeah.
Number one, I loved the voices. And that's finally getting ready to come out.
Yeah, soon, a couple weeks. Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't, if you could just sort of plug the film, and I have to just go backwards for a second and say how much I loved Place Beyond the Pines. And if you could sort of just, that movie is so fantastic. If you could sort of talk about working with Derek Cianfrance and what you remember from that experience.
Sure, you got it. You want to keep rolling on?
Well, The Voices, it comes out, I think February 6th. I hope I got that right.
I think so.
They're fantastic experience. Weird, dark comedy that really worked. I was sad I couldn't be here last year for Sundance when it premiered for the first time. I was at home with pneumonia, but I'm psyched about it. I just love that movie. I love that movie so much. It needs a fair shake, and it's one of those movies that just has to get seen because it's special. It's unlike anything that's ever been made, I think.
And it's also awesome.
Yeah,
like
really
that's the other thing.
Awesome. Yeah, it really worked. That was a roll of the dice for everyone involved. But it's one of those movies that you roll the dice, you shoot the film, and if it doesn't work, then nobody will ever see it. But thankfully, it did work, and we want to get as many people their eyes on it as possible.
100%.
And Place Beyond the Pines was a truly magic dust sort of experience, and that film very much led to this film because Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden and Derek Cianfrance are all in the sort of same, film extended family, if you like, and they had seen that, they being Ryan and Fleck and Anna Boden had seen Place Beyond the Pines, and that is pretty much how I got here, this job that we were talking about, which is Mississippi Grind.
Both of you have other things that are coming up. You have a TV show that, and also I believe, did you just work with Tarzan? Or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago, yeah.
Yeah, but sort of talk about, you guys both have other things coming up, if you don't mind sort of plugging them and teasing what's coming.
I'll keep going, you can close this out.
Yeah, go for it, I'll get it.
I have the Black Sea is in cinemas at the moment. That's
another good movie.
A great little submarine flick. Go Submarines! And there is a show called Bloodline, which will be a Netflix thing. And that's a pretty big number.
You can't just say you're on a TV show, Ben, because he's not on 2.5 Men.
Right.
He's on a Netflix show that is a cinema on a smaller screen.
Right. That's my bad.
Yeah,
I should have said
that's
that.
all right. I'm just covering you.
Yeah.
No, and that will be arriving in your home if you are a Netflix subscriber in full in the latter part of March. Bushka.
The next film I got coming out is Woman in Gold with Helen Mirren and Harvey Weinstein behind that. Simon Curtis directed it. It's about a woman true story about a woman who took on the country of Austria to get her paintings back that were stolen by the Nazis in the 30s. And she hired a young lawyer in the late 90s named Randy Schoenberg, who I play. I know you look at me and you just think Jewish restitution lawyer. But anyway, I was there. And we shot that film maybe last year, and it's coming up right now. Very excited about it.
I believe you filmed that in Vienna.
We did. We shot in Vienna and London.
That is, I've been fortunate enough to go to Vienna more than once, and it is easily one of my favorite places on the planet.
Beautiful city. I finished shooting there, and I flew home, and then I flew right back and did a little motorcycle trip with my brother through the Alps there. It was just incredible.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that wasn't bombed during World War II. So the architecture is, just throwing this out there, fantastic.
Amazing. It's like Prague. It's like Czechoslovakia. It's beautiful. That whole.
100%.
Yeah.
I have to wrap with the two of you, but I'm going to say congratulations on the movie, your work, both of you. As I said before, talented actors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For real.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me your time.